We're back investigating the accounts of those who say they spoke to angels on the other side. Now, Peggy says she didn't just see one angel, but says a panel of angels appeared when she nearly died. So according to your medical records, you had a tubal pregnancy.
Yes.
Which is really dangerous because obviously that can explode the fallopian tubes, cause all kinds of bleeding and problems. So what happened when you got to the hospital with this emergency?
When I got to the hospital, my pain had suddenly faded. I felt I was dying, and I couldn't lift my fingers. I couldn't lift up, nothing. I lost contact with my body, and my chin hit my chest, and suddenly I'm in a different place. It's dim, and it felt like a tight, narrow place, and it sounded like a rocket taken off, like shh, this loud sound of wind, speed.
So what did you see when you finally got to the end of this rocket ship ride or tunnel?
So I thought, well, this must be heaven. What else would it be? Then I saw a panel of people. I could feel them looking at me. I could feel them as people, as spirits, but I could not see them, but I sensed them watching me. And so I'm looking, and then I see one sitting up front and center, and I thought, that has to be God. And so I thought I had a complaint department. So I started screaming at him. I was very rude and disrespectful. I mean, that's not what you think you will do when you go to heaven. But that's what I was doing. And I was like, I won't go. I refuse. I have kids to raise. And I was having telepathic communication, what I believe was God, telling me the answer was no. I couldn't go back. And I wanted to. And the answer was no.
How'd you talk them into sending you back?
Well, I said, okay, I know you're God. So I know from being Catholic, you're omniscient. So you can see in the future. If you look in the future and you tell me that my kids will be better off without me for whatever reason, I agree to stay. But if not, I beg to return. So then, since I said, if you can look into the future, then I see, and I believe it's Jesus. I see him on the left from behind. I'm still this point of reference in heaven in the white light watching this. And it's like the Christmas Carol where they look in the future.
Right.
I'm looking in the future, and I'm going with Jesus in the future. And my 3 little boys are in their bedroom, and they're discussing that Mom has died. And they look the same age. So it couldn't have been that far in the future. And they're discussing the fact that Mom has died. And my middle son, Jeremy's very sensitive. And he said to his older brother, I don't care that you say Mom has died. I want her back. And I want her back right now. And I felt his pain so bad that I retracted. And now I'm back in heaven in the white light, and I'm sobbing. And now Jesus is sitting on this side of God, and the panel's still right there. And I can see Jesus' feet. I am sobbing at the floor of heaven. And I say, who else will teach them about you? And then I am back in that wheelchair. And I'm thinking, what was that? I was just in heaven accepting it.
So has it occurred to you that it could have been a medication they gave you?
They didn't give me any medication. I had just got there. They were just taking me to find a room. I was on no medication.
But the real question that I have is whether they're angels or not. And I'm going to ask someone who's an expert in this area to come comment on it. Let's dive into what the science says about what and who we may see during near-death experiences. Dr. Jeffrey Long has researched over 4,000 near-death experiences, and he joins us now via Zoom. Dr. Long, thank you for joining us. We just heard from Peggy and Suzanne about seeing angels. How common is this among people who've had near-death experiences?
Angels are actually uncommon in near-death experiences. In my study of over 400 near-death experiences, only 4% of the near-death experiences described encountering angels.
Do you personally believe in angels? Obviously, you study near-death, and you're also in the medical profession.
Well, Dr. Oz, I've always believed in angels, but even more so after hearing these remarkable testimonies we've heard on the show, and after doing my study, I believe in angels now even more than I ever did previously in my life.
So what do you think is going on in the brain when people are seeing angels? I mean, these stories are so vivid, so precise.
It's absolutely remarkable when you hear these accounts. For near-death experiences, which is what they're having when they see angels, you have to remember that conscious experience should be impossible. A common precipitating event of near-death experiences is cardiac arrest, heart attack, if you will, the heart stops beating. Well, immediately, blood stops flowing to the brain, and you shouldn't be able to remember anything, and yet here are people having near-death experiences with these visual, dramatic components of what happened, including angel visits.
Well, sir, thank you very much, and congratulations on your research. Up next,